Okay, okay lang po ang aking weekend, Ma'am Wendy.
Ayan, eto na naman tayo, Tutor Eric, sa ating e-tulay session. Ang bilis ng panahon. Parang kaka-Monday lang last week, Monday na naman tayo ngayon. So,
Yes,
Tutor
ma'am.
Eric, bago tayo mag-start, siguro check attendance muna tayo dito sa ating comment section. Tingnan natin. So, sa ating mga nanonood, hello to
Okay.
Elena Remorosa, ang ating kauna-unahang estudyante from grade 12 Andromeda. Again, from Davao City. And good afternoon po, watching from the house, si Tutor AJ. Naku, buti, Tutor AJ ha, hanggang dulo. Hanggang dulo ay manood
Ay,
ka. Tutor Eric, sino pa ba ang
ayan.
mga nanonood?
Good afternoon din kay Juvenile Christine Baho from 12 Andromeda ng Davao City at kay Enzo Gabriel as well as kay Bianca and kay Sheena. Ayan, good afternoon sa inyong lahat.
Ayan, good afternoon po kay Ma'am Emmy Faner, ang aking kasamahan na nanonood mula sa Tansa National Trade School Annex. Hi ma'am, good afternoon po sa inyo. Okay, so Sir Eric, bago tayo magsimula, siguro i-comment muna natin yung ating class of the week.
Oo
Okay,
nga
so
ma'am, very active sila
congratulations
last
po
week.
sa talaga namang sila ang nagpasaya ng ating hapon last week. So, congratulations sa grade 12 Andromeda ng Daniel R. Aguinaldo National High School, Davao City, at sa kanilang very supportive na teacher na si Ma'am Jen Melendres Pepito. So, salamat po sa panunood at sana hanggang sa matapos ang school year na to, kami ay samahan nyo dito sa Itulay Online Tutorials.
Yes,
So
maraming salamat
ngayon,
po sa
sir,
inyo.
tayo ay nasa week 2 na ng ating quarter 1. At ang ating topic for today is cell types and cell modifications. So again, kami po si Tutor Wendy ng SDO Cavite Province. Kasama ko po si Tutor Eric ng SDO Caloocan City. Mamaya, makakasama din si Tutor Tony ng SDO Quezon City. Kami po ang inyong magiging tutor sa General Biology 1 tuwing Monday po yan from 4:40 to 5:20 na. Ano ba ang mga learning competencies natin for this week?
Ayan. For our learning competencies for this week,
Tutor Eric.
at the end of our tutorial, you should be able to first distinguish pinagkaiba ng prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells according to their distinguishing features. Pangalawa, you should be able to classify the different cell types of plant and animal tissues and specify the functions of each. And of course, lastly, I describe some cell modifications that lead to adaptation to carry out specialized functions.
Okay. So, actually, magre-review muna tayo, di ba, Tutor Eric, ng
Yes po,
ating
ma'am.
naging past lesson. So, okay.
So let us start. Ang ating review for today ay tinatawag na fact or fake. So we will show you different informations about the concepts na diniscuss natin noong week 1 dito sa ating general biology. And if the information that is presented to you or the concept is true, type the word fact. Otherwise, kung mali naman or mali yung ating concept na nakapresent, you will type fake. So, yun lamang ang ita-type natin sa ating comment section ngayon, fact or fake. So, let's
So,
have
are we gonna
our
start?
review. Let us
Okay,
start.
sir.
Okay, for the first concept, the cell theory was formulated through the contributions of not one but several scientists. Fact or fake? So kung maaalala natin, iba't ibang mga scientists yan, no? Di ba? Nandiyan sina Matthias Leiden, sina Rudolf Virchow, at saka si Theodore Schwann. So the answer to this one, it's a fake. Okay, so sorry, it is a fact. So, hindi siya not one but several scientists. Ayan,
Yes. Okay,
maraming
so,
mga scientists ang nag-contribute dito.
sir, tama si Kun Crunia. Napakahirap naman ang pangalan niya. Fact daw po. At si Andrew L. Patino, very good. Danver Beroy, Alea Dolar, Hasmilita Joy Robles. Yan, marami po sumasagot ng fact. Tama sila, Tutor Eric.
And let's have the next one. Ang pangalawa natin, the classical cell theory that was proposed in the mid-19th century has six postulates. Six postulates na baka agad ito noong 19th century. Unlike ngayong mga modern natin na six na ang postulates. Okay, so nung mga 19th century, tatlo pa lang ang proposed na tenets ng ating cell theory by that time. So the answer to this one is a fake. Okay, tingnan natin kung
Okay.
sino
So,
mga nakakuha ng
students
tamang sagot,
ha,
no ma'am?
pakilagyan ng number yung mga sagot nyo para alam namin. Okay, sir? Sabi ni Corinne, fake. Andrew, Corinne, fake. Sabi ni Aliyah, fake. So, marami po ang nagsasabi ng fake. Although may iba nakakapagsagot din ng fact. Siguro naiisip nila is the modern cell theory na po.
Okay, yung modern cell theory, ang merong
Okay,
six
let's proceed.
postulates or tenets. Ayan. Number 3,
Hmm.
the word organelle is literally translated as little organs. They are structures with specific functions within the cell. Is it a fact or fake? Ayan. Organelles, mga membrane-bound structures na may iba't ibang mga function na nasa ating cytoplasm. Okay, so the answer to this one would be, ano kaya ang sagot ng ating mga learners? Ayan. And our answer to this
Okay, so
one, it's a fact. Okay, ang ating organelles are membrane-bound structures na may iba't ibang mga function. Okay, so let's proceed with the next one.
ating
Wait.
presentation.
Alright.
Ayan.
Yes po. Visible na tayo, ma'am.
Ayan.
Okay, so
Okay,
number 4. All organelles are found in animal cells. That are found in animal cells are also found in plant cells. Lahat daw ng organelles na nasa animal cells ay makikita sa plant cells. Ang tanong, ayan, may lysosome ba kaya ang plants? Ayan, may vacuoles din ba ang animal cells? So that is our clue for this number 4. And knowing na ang plant cells ay walang lysosome, okay, the answer to this question number 4, it's a fake. Pero ang
okay.
ating, for our example here in number 4, ang plant cells ay may vacuoles to compensate for their absence ng lysosome. Okay, let's have the next one, number 5. Ayan, the invention of the microscope became the springboard for numerous discoveries about the cell. Ayan, ano ba itong device na nagamit ni Anton van Leeuwenhoek sa kanyang pag-aaral ng microorganisms? Yung mga tinatawag niyang animalcules dati.
Yes, the animalcules.
Okay? So, tignan natin ang answers ng ating mga learners dito sa ating number 5.
Okay, mostly sa kanila fact po, si
Yes.
Kier, Cantero, si Glidel, Oplado, yan, fact daw po, Jasmilita, Robles, Nelmar, Hugno, fact po ang kanilang sagot.
And the answer to this, it's a fact. Yan, the microscope
Okay.
became the springboard para sa numerous discoveries about our cells. Ayan.
So, let's proceed, Tutor Tony and Tutor Eric.
Yes.
Yes.
Yan, dahil sana makisama ng ating weather. Now, for our main topic, we have the major types of cells. So, cells fall into two major categories. We have our prokaryotes and our eukaryotes, and they have several similarities and differences. Yun ang ating i-discuss one by one. So, first, we have our prokaryotes. So, the name prokaryotes is a combination of the Greek words pro, which means before, and karyon, which means kernel or nut. So the prokaryote was named like this because these are simple unicellular organisms that do not have a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. So Yun ang kanilang main distinguishing characteristics. They have no nucleus. Now, their DNA, kung wala silang nucleus, their DNA is found in the cytoplasm concentrated in a region known as the nucleoid region. So, examples ng ating prokaryotes are ang ating mga bacteria, such as yung mga nandito sa ating illustration. Next, we have the eukaryotes. So the eukaryotes, the name eukaryote also came from the Greek word eu, which means good, well, or true, and karyon, which means kernel or nut. So they are named eukaryotes because these organisms have a nucleus enclosed by a membrane. So yung kanilang genetic material or DNA is inside a membrane-bound nucleus. And they also have other membrane-bound organelles such as the mitochondria, the Golgi apparatus, and your endoplasmic reticulum.
Reticulum.
Now, if we are going to compare the prokaryotes and eukaryotes more closely, let's compare them using several criteria. So first, we have the size. So the prokaryotes are relatively smaller as compared to your eukaryotes. They are unicellular, while eukaryotes can either be unicellular or multicellular. For the kingdom, under prokaryotes, we have the archaebacteria, the eubacteria or the true bacteria. And then for eukaryotes, we have the kingdom Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. Now, if you know kung saan nakabilong na kingdom ang isang species or organism, malalaman nyo na agad kung siya ay prokaryote or eukaryote. Now, when it comes to the
Yes.
nucleus, so again, ang nucleus talaga ang main distinguishing characteristic ng prokaryote and eukaryote. So, of course, sa prokaryote, the nucleus is absent, while eukaryotes, it is present, as well as the other membrane-bound organelles.
Okay.
So, absent sila sa prokaryotes and present naman sa ating eukaryotes. And then we go to the cell wall. Prokaryotes have cell wall, while in eukaryotes, the cell wall is only found in plant cells. Now, the cell wall of your prokaryotes are more chemically complex compared to the simple cell walls of the eukaryotes. For sexual reproduction, prokaryotes have no sexual reproduction, but their genetic information is transferred through a process called conjugation. On the other hand, eukaryotes can undergo sexual reproduction in a process called meiosis, which results in the production of your gametes or your sex cells. And then for cell division, prokaryotes divide through binary fission, a process wherein the organism separates into two parts, each carrying their own genetic material, while eukaryotes divide through the process of mitosis, where a single cell divides into two identical daughter cells. Actually, almost similar ang binary fission and mitosis because they both produce two identical cells. However, medyo different yung kanilang mechanisms. And then lastly, for the structure of the DNA, ang DNA ng prokaryotes, again, it is found in the cytoplasm, particularly the nucleoid region. It is circular and it is haploid, meaning there is only one copy for each gene, while the DNA of the eukaryotes found inside the nucleus is linear. It is arranged in structures that we call chromosomes, and it is diploid, meaning there are two copies of each chromosomes. So, itong present natin, this is the summary ng differences and similarities between prokaryotes and eukaryotes.
Eukaryotes.
Yes, now we proceed to our first learning task, Tutor Eric.
Ayan, at ang title ng ating learning task ngayon ay picture analysis. So ang gagawin namin ay magpapakita lang kami ng pictures ng prokaryotic at saka ng eukaryotic cells. And you will identify if the cells presented are eukaryote or a prokaryote. If yung picture na makikita ninyo sa ating slide ay isang eukaryote, just type letter E. At kung ang makikita nyo naman na cell dito sa ating presentation na isang prokaryotic cell, just type letter P. Again, letter E if eukaryote and type letter P or Papa if it's prokaryote. Okay, ready na ba tayo, Tutor Wendy and Tutor
Okay.
Tony?
So, ready na
Yes,
po.
ready na po.
Okay, so let's have our first one. Oh, so ang makikita ninyo dito sa ating picture, it is a cell at makikita ninyo yung nakaturo na cell, yung ating epithelium ay meron siyang prominent na nucleus. Kung makikita ninyo yung bilog na darker ang pagka-violet doon sa loob nitong cells natin. So kapag merong nucleus ang ating cell, siya ay ayan, tignan natin kung ano ang sagot ng ating mga learners this afternoon. Okay, given
Yes,
na
sir.
ito
So,
ay
sabi
merong
ni Maria Teresa Escanio, E. Sabi ni Elena, E. Sabi ni Nelmar, E. Patrick, E. O all, halos lahat sila, sir. E ang kanilang sagot.
okay, so actually this is an animal tissue and dahil ayan, of course animals, okay, we are eukaryotes. Ayan, at makikita ninyo naman
Okay.
na prominent yung ating nucleus. So this cell, it's a eukaryote. Okay, let's have our next cell. Okay, so the picture shows a picture of a bacteria which
Bacteria.
is the E. coli. Okay, or yung ating Escherichia coli. This one is a type of bacteria na makikita sa ating large intestines ng mga tao. And since this is a bacteria, ayan, kung napakinggan natin kanina, bacteria ay this one belongs doon sa ating kingdom Eubacteria. So this one, okay, ano ang sagot ng ating mga learners?
Ayan po, MJ Tiglaw, P. Jamsi Reyno, P. Shena May, P po ang sagot. Edel, P. Derek, P. Lahat po sila, P ang sagot. Tutor Eric.
And ang tama ang inyong sagot, yan, E. coli belongs to Eubacteria and it's a prokaryote. Okay, let's have the next one. Okay, so this picture shows us a thermoacidophile. So a thermoacidophile, these are types ng bacteria na kung saan they are bukod sa sila ay heat loving, sila din ay love nila ang mga lugar or nagtathrive sila doon sa mga lugar na mababa ang pH or yung acidic na environment. Okay, so they are also types of bacteria at dahil sila ay bacteria, sila ay
Okay, so ang sagot nila, sir, ay P.
P.
O meron pa talagang binuo niya.
yes,
Bacteria are, sabi niya,
Are
prokaryotes.
prokaryotes.
prokaryotes. Yan. Let's have our next picture. Uy, ito ay picture ng isang plant cell. Parang onion root tip yata ito at
May mitosis.
Ayan. Yes, sir. This plant cell is actually undergoing mitosis. Nakikita natin yung iba't ibang stages ng
Stages.
mitosis. So, yes, sir. So, ang sagot ng ating mga students ay E daw po. E.
Letter E, I
So,
think.
this is actually a eukaryote. So, tama po kayo.
Eukaryote.
And
So we
then,
are all correct.
yes. So, we have our last organism.
Ayan.
Yes, sir. This
Chill
is
na
a
chill.
paramecium.
Swimming.
Mm.
Sa watery
So, yan lang.
Yan.
Nag-glide-glide lang si paramecium. Yan. Tutor Eric.
paramecium, this one is a type of algae or it's a protist, yung ating paramecium.
Proteus.
Okay. An animal-like protist. Yan.
Number
So this
5.
one, it's
Okay. This is
okay.
a
So this why
eukaryote.
eukaryote.
So, good job sa
So,
ating
tama
mga
naman po ang
learners.
ating mga students. So,
Yes.
I believe na alam nila ang difference between a prokaryote and a eukaryote.
Eukaryote.
Okay? So, now, moving on, we have our next topic, which is cell specialization and cell modification. Now, cell specialization, sometimes tinatawag din siyang cell differentiation. Now, it is the process by which generic cells change to different types of cells to be able to perform special or specific functions. Now, in unicellular organisms, generally, they do not differentiate or specialize kasi nga unicellular sila. But there are some exception to the rules like the fungi. On the other hand, yung mga multicellular organisms, because they are made up of multiple cells that have a specific function. Kaya marami talagang cell specialization in multicellular organisms.
Organisms.
Okay, so
Exactly.
the
Yes.
process of specialization occurs in different stages sa life ng isang organisms. So most specialization, nangyayari na siya during sa embryonic development. So upon fertilization, yung ating embryo would undergo several stages of division. And then, after that, mag-specialize na siya or magbabago na yung mga cells to become the structure na makakapag-enable sa kanila to perform their function. So, sa atin pa lang, sa mammals pa lang, we have over 200 types of cells. So, magbibigay po tayo ng ilang examples ng specialized cells. First, we have in animals. Okay. So, we have here our red
Red
blood
blood cell.
cell. So
Blood
the
cells.
so ito maganda siyang example ng specialized cells. So the function of our red blood cell is to carry oxygen throughout the body. So paano ba niya nagagawa 'yon? Because of its special or specific structure. First, it has no nucleus. So upon maturity po, nawawala na yung nucleus ng red blood cell to give more space para sa oxygen. And then it has a biconcave shape. So pag nakikita natin yung ating mga RBC, mukha siyang palitaw. So lubog yung kanyang center. So bakit ganun ang kanyang shape? It enables it to become more flexible para makapag-squeeze siya inside yung mga iba't ibang sizes ng ating blood vessels kasi merong blood vessels na masyadong makikitid. So, because of its biconcave shape, the RBCs can easily pass through these blood vessels. And then lastly, meron siyang iron-rich protein, yung tinatawag na hemoglobin. So, the oxygen attaches to the hemoglobin. Now, the hemoglobin also gives the blood its red color. So, next example of our specialized cell would be our white blood cell or yung WBC. So it is
UBC.
called, yes, it is called the soldiers of the body, di ba? Yan ang kanyang nickname because they play important role in our immune system. Now, special din yung kanyang structure. It is irregular in shape para rin makasqueeze sila or makapass through sa mga blood vessels. And it has the ability to produce antibodies na nakaka-recognize sa mga foreign bodies like your bacteria and virus. And it can produce antitoxin that can neutralize poisons. Next, we have our sperm cell. So, napaka-distinct din ng itsura ng ating sperm cell. So, its function is to fertilize an egg cell to make a baby. So, paano niya nagagawa yon? Again, it is because of its unique structure. So, it has a long tail. Yung long tail niya or yung flagella niya, it enables it to swim through the female reproductive system para ma-meet niya yung egg cell. It also has numerous mitochondria. So, para saan ba yung mitochondria? Di ba ang mitochondria natin tinatawag siyang powerhouse of the
House of the cell.
So, yung sperm cells, napakadami niyang mitochondria. Bakit kaya? Tutor Eric,
Kasi-
Tutor Tony.
Kasi
Okay,
ang function niya is of course to fertilize the egg and of course medyo malayo-layo ang magiging journey niya ma'am no para
Yes.
ma-fertilize niya ang hinahanap niya na sabi natin last week no si Romeo tsaka si Juliet para mag-meet. So medyo mahaba yung journey na lalakbayin ng sperm cell kaya kailangan niya ng mas maraming mitochondria para makapag-provide ng energy habang
Ayan.
Yes.
So,
nag-travel.
And alam
that's
nyo din ba na ang ating mitochondria ng sperm cell, lahat iyon ay nakalocate doon sa may neck na portion ng ating sperm cell. That is to give utility doon sa tail.
okay. Yan. And ang ating sperm cell din, ay ang atin, wala ako niyan sa kanila. Okay. Meron siyang
Male.
special chemicals sa kanilang head that enables it to enter the egg cell. So, it can break
Parang
down the
may,
membrane of the
yeah,
egg
parang may
cell.
password ma'am no na
So,
mag-unlock dun sa
oo, sir.
pinaka-membrane
So,
ng egg
unique siya
cell.
doon sa sperm cell. Unique yung
Yeah.
chemical na yon sa sperm cell. Okay? And then we have the other reproductive cell, yung ating egg
Egg
cell. So,
cell for the
it
females.
carries the genetic material. So, pareho sila reproductive cells, di ba? Tutor Eric and Tutor Tony, pero magkaiba sila ng structure. Because
Yes.
magkaiba rin sila ng specialized or specific function. So, yung egg cell, it is large and
Version
bulky as compared sa napakaliit na sperm cell. So,
sperm.
malaki yung egg cells ng female because it contains the yolk or yung nutrients na kailangan ng isang growing embryo. Kaya, ano siya, malaki. And then, a single sperm enters yung egg cell, nagkakaroon ng chemical change sa membrane ng egg cell and it will prevent other sperms from fertilizing the egg cell. Kaya one sperm will fertilize the egg cell. So, pero
Mm-mm.
nangyayari din naman daw po yung meron ding nakakapasok na iba. But yung percentage ng ganong pangyayari, I think it is only 1%.
Very
So,
rare.
very rare, napakadalang mangyari na more than one ang nakaka-fertilize sa egg cell. Okay?
Kasi
So,
once
other
po na ma-fertilize,
examples,
once
we have
ma-fertilize
the
ma'am no,
neuron. Napaka-distinct din po ng itsura, ng structure ng ating neuron. Pag nakita yan ng ating mga
yan.
senior high school students, alam na alam din nila yan. Kilala nila si neuron. So the function of the neuron is to carry nerve impulses or yung ating mga signals through the body. So paano niya nagagawa yon? It has a long thin axon. So kaya meron siyang ganyan. It enables faster transmission ng signal and para ma-reach din niya yung iba't ibang parts ng ating body. So mahaba siya because it has to connect the central nervous system to the other parts of our body. And then
Nerve.
it has branching dendrites yung sa kanyang head. So marami siyang dendrites because they can receive signals from numerous other
Other
neurons. So
neurons.
marami kumbaga silang pwedeng matanggap na signals. And
Messages or
then,
signals.
lastly,
Yes.
yes. So, yung kanyang axon, it is myelinated or nakakover siya ng tinatawag na myelin sheath,
Myelin
which
sheath.
is protein and fat. So, yun ay isang type of insulation. Ini-insulate niya yung axon. Again, ang function nito para maging mas mabilis yung pagsisend ng nerve impulses
Nerve
or
impulses.
signals.
Yeah. Pero of
So,
course, meron din tayong mga neurons or nerve cells na nawala siya noong ating
unmyelinated.
myelin sheath. Kaya lang mas mabilis syempre yung action potential or yung transmission ng signals sa mga myelinated na
Myelinated.
neurons. Ayan, next
Yes,
tayo.
correct. Okay, so then we have our muscle cells. So, muscle cells facilitate movement. So, movement ng appendages or movement ng internal organs like the
Organ.
heart and the stomach. So, ang kanya namang structure, they are elongated and elastic. So, medyo pahaba yung kanilang shape. That enables them to contract and relax, providing movement. And again, dahil movement na naman ang pinag-uusapan natin, kailangan na naman yan ng energy. So, we expect that the muscle cell also has numerous mitochondria. So, like your sperm cell, marami rin siyang mitochondria.
Chondria.
Okay, now plants also have specialized cells. Meron din naman sa plants. So, here are some examples. So we have the guard cell. So the guard cell regulates rate of transpiration. So you can find that doon sa mga openings called stomata. So
Stomata.
guard cells
Yes.
have varying, yes, they have varying wall thickness. So sa stomata, yung opening, so meron siyang dalawang guard cells. Okay? So yung thickness ng guard cells, mas thick siya doon sa inner kaysa doon sa kanyang outer. Now, when guard cells receives too much water, ang nangyayari sa kanya is nagsuswell siya. No? So, lumulobo siya. Okay? So, nagsuswell. And then, na-open niya yung stomata ng plants. And then, kapag naman naglo-lose siya ng water, ang nangyayari sa guard cell, nagiging straight siya and loose or flaccid. Kino-close naman niya yung stomata. So, bakit ba kailangan na i-regulate yung rate of transpiration? Because kapag dry or windy yung environment, maaring mag-lose ng too much water yung ating plant. Okay? At malalanta siya. Ayan na naman. Oh.
The next structure po, no, is we have...
Hello, tutor. Dinig pa rin ako?
Yes po, apo.
Yes
You're in
po.
pa rin, ma'am.
Okay,
Continue lang po tayo.
Yes. Okay.
Another specialized cell structure in plants, of course, is what we call the
Okay. Next, we have the root
root
hair
hair.
cell.
Here's
So, the root hair cell is found sa roots ng plants. Ang kanyang function is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. So, the root hair cell is long and thin. Mahaba siya, so it can penetrate the roots or the soil particles, and they are thin with large surface area para mas mabilis nilang na-absorb yung water from the soil.
soil.
Yes. Next, we have what we call photosynthetic cells.
Oh.
They are mostly found sa leaves ng plants. Okay, so ang kanilang function is to produce food through the process of photosynthesis.
What's the next, ma'am?
Okay, so it contains numerous chloroplasts. That is the site of your photosynthesis. And then last one, we have the xylem vessel. Okay? So the xylem vessel, ang kanyang function is to transport water and minerals from the roots to other parts of the plants. Ang kanyang special structure, first it has lignin. So this is a molecule that makes the xylem vessel strong and stiff. Para pag umakyat yung water, hindi siya mag-burst or hindi siya sasabog due to osmotic pressure. Now, the xylem vessel also has no protoplasm. Kapag nag-mature na yung xylem vessel, siya ay kinoconsider na dead cell. Okay? So, kaya ganon because it enables them to form continuous tube, parang tubo ng tubig. Okay? And the water will flow through capillary action. Okay? So those are our examples of specialized cells. So sabi nga, ano lang yan, examples lang yan kasi there are more than 200 different types of cells. Sa mammals pa lang yun. Okay? Samples lang yan. Next, we go to cell modification. So ano ba yung cell modifications? So these are adaptations or changes acquired by the cell after cell division that aids the cell in various beneficial ways. Okay, so yung cell modification, hindi siya specific sa iisang type of ganitong modification. So ano ang example? Example natin would be our cilia. Okay? Cilia are hair-like organelles extending from the cell surface. So there are two types, the non-motile or primary cilia. Siya ay, ang function niya is sensory. Yes. And then we have the motile cilia. Ang function naman niya is for movement. So, example of cells na may cilia would be our the lining of our respiratory tract. So, from our nose or trachea to our bronchi. So, meron yung cilia na parang nagsusweeping motion. Yun ang kanyang movement. tinatrap niya yung dust and
Contract
dirt.
ng mga particles
Yes.
na hindi
Dust and
kailangan for
dirt
the
para hindi siya
respiratory
pumunta sa
process.
ating, yes, para hindi pumunta sa ating lungs. So isa pa ang example ng mycelia would be the lining of the fallopian tube ng mga females. So yung cilia naman ng fallopian tube, it moves the egg cell
Leg
and the
cell.
sperm and the sperm cell. Tinutulungan niya mag-move yung dalawa and mag-meet. Okay? So
Yes.
the next example of cell modification would be our flagella.
Flashlight.
So like your flagella, it is long, mas mahaba siya sa cilia pala, and whip-like, parang latigo daw or tail-like. It is made of protein filaments. So, ang kanyang function is to aid movement. Kaya nga, ang example natin dyan ng cell na may flagella would be our sperm. So,
Sperms.
the tail-like flagella would aid the movement of the sperm through the female reproductive tract. And numerous types of bacteria also have flagella. Okay? So, minsan isa
Yes.
lang, minsan numerous flagella. It also aids in their movement. Okay?
Movement.
Yes, so our next example of cell modification is our villi or microvilli. Now, unlike yung ating cilia and flagella, ang description naman sa villi would be finger-like projections. Para daw mga daliri yung kanyang shape. They are small, slender, and vascular or full of blood vessels. Now, the function of the villi or the microvilli is to increase surface area to increase absorption. Example ng cells na may microvilli would be the lining of our intestine
Small
kasi
intestines.
dito nagaganap yung mostly yung absorption ng nutrients from our digested food. Actually, itong nasa nasa illustration natin ay lining niya ng small intestine. So makikita niyo yung parang mga finger-like projections diyan. Yan yung tinatawag nating villi or yung microvilli. Okay? And the last example of our cell modification is our pseudopods. So literally, ang meaning ng pseudopods would be
False
false
feet.
feet. They are temporary extension of the cytoplasm. Temporary kasi nagbabago din yan eh. No? It aids in the movement para makagalaw yung cell, kaya nga tawag sa kanya ay false feet. And it can also be used in ingestion, doon sa tinatawag nating mitosis or cell eating. So
Sorry.
example ng may pseudopods would be the amoeba.
Iba.
And sa cells naman ng living organism, cells natin, example niya would be the white blood cells. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na phagocytic white blood cells. Sila yung nag-i-engulf or kumakain ng invading bacteria. So, ginagawa nila yan through their pseudopods. So, isang uri
Yes.
ng cell modification. Okay? So, those are just some of our examples. Now, we are going to proceed and apply
With
yung ating mga natutunan in our assessment or quiz. So, this will be led by Tutor Eric.
Go
Ayan.
Tutor
So let
Eric.
us have our assessment for this session. So let's see item number 1. So for our number 1, ang question ay, ayan, specialized cells group together to perform a specified function. These groups of cells are called A, organs, B, organisms, C, tissues, or letter D, species. So, ang aggregation ng mga ng specialized cells na nagpa-perform ng specified functions plus their extracellular extracellular matrix ay tinatawag natin na tissues. So, the answer to
Tissues.
this ay letter C.
Letter C. So Elena and Corinne are
Okay, so the
correct.
answer is C,
Letter C.
tissue. So, tama si Elena Remorosa.
Patrick, Andrew
Yes, so,
Novalisa,
ayan,
Sean.
correct din po si Corinne Mondehar. Ang answer din niya ay C. Si Patrick James Repaso. Yan,
Okay.
tama po
Sige
sila.
po, proceed na po tayo
Okay,
para
maraming
ano po.
Yes.
Okay,
Next, we
let us have
have
number
number
2. Having a membrane-bound organelles is a characteristic of which type of cell? Is it A, eukaryotes, B, prokaryotes, C, both A and B, both prokaryotes and eukaryotes, or letter D, neither of eukaryotes or prokaryotes? Alin ba sa type ng cell natin na ang prominent ang pagkakaroon ng organelles?
Eukaryote
Okay,
or
at
prokaryote?
is it prokaryotes or eukaryotes? And
Okay, may mga
our
sagot na po.
answer to this,
Sumasagot sila. Letter A daw po, sir. Arcane
ayan.
Rodriguez, Samantha Eluto. Yes.
So
Bea,
our answer to this
Brea.
one is letter A. So mas
Okay.
prominent ang organelle sa ating eukaryotes. Ayan, present yung mga membrane-bound organelles dito sa ating eukaryotic cells. Okay, I think we should have the next one. Number 3, which of the following statement is true about the process of cell specialization? Is it letter A, cell specialization occurs immediately after specialization? B, all our
Fertilization.
cells in organisms originated from a single cell that specialize into different types of cell? Or letter C, all cells in an organism have the same structure and function? Ayan. So, ang clue natin dyan ay yung kapag tayo ay nagkaroon ng fertilization, we will magkakaroon ng formation ng zygote na magdi-divide at itong mga cells na ito will eventually have their own fate. Yung iba magiging brain, yung ibang mga cells ay magiging iba't ibang mga organs. And the answer to this is letter
Okay,
B.
so ang sagot po nila
Ayan.
ay B. Si Carl Gultiano, B daw po. Si Kaisel Gamon, B. Dan Ververoy, B. So ang sagot dito ay,
Ayan, letter
okay.
B. All cells in
So,
an organism originated from a single cell that specialize into different types of cell. Ayan, sa development ng fetus. Ayan.
Let's have question
Ayan,
number
and
4,
okay,
Super Wendy.
number 4. Number 4, which type of specialized cell controls the opening and closing of stomata in plants? Is it A, chloroplast, B, guard cell, C, root hair cell, or letter D, xylem? Ang clue natin dyan, ito ay opening and closing. Ayan. Mga nag-opening and closing ng stomata ng ating plants. Ayan. At ang function nito ay similar sa isang
okay.
tagapagbantay ng opening. And so the answer to this is letter D. So it's a guard cell. So tignan natin, tama yung
Yan, tama
sagot
po
ng
yung mga
ating
sagot
mga
na nila.
learners.
Yes, si Arcane Rodriguez, si Catherine Baay, okay. Edel Palma, D po ang kanilang sagot. Okay, and for the
Okay,
last
for
question,
our
Tutor Eric,
last question, which component can be found in xylem cells that give the cell strength and prevents it from bursting during transport of water? Is it A, chloroplast, B, cilia, C, lignin, or D, vacuole? So, tignan natin, no? Elimination tayo, chloroplast. That one is for photosynthesis. Cilia is an extension of the cell for movement. Ang vacuole natin ay for the storage of water and of course, nagsaserve din ito na parang lysosome sa ating plants. And ang naiwan natin is letter C, lignin. So,
okay.
lignin, ito yung nagbibigay ng strength at prevent sa ating xylem from bursting during the transport of water.
Yan po. So, tama rin ulit ang kanilang mga sagot. Si Francis Gay Rozaga, Nelmar Hugno, Jamsi Reyno, letter C daw po, lignin. Si Marlon Simora. Okay, so correct ang answers ng ating mga students ngayong araw na ito. Okay?
Ayan. So very good ang ating learners today. At alam nila na ang different types of cells. So before we end, nice naming mag-iwan sa inyo ng some words to ponder. What sets you apart can sometimes feel like it's a burden and it's not. And a lot of time it is what makes you great.
Makes you
Kagaya ng
great.
ating mga iba't ibang klase ng cells. So they have distinguishing characteristics and gives the yun yung nagiging unique sa kanila, and of course they perform some functions which makes them great. And kagaya natin, sometimes meron tayong mga unique characteristics and nagsaset apart doon sa ating mga kaibigan or our other people, and sometimes nafi-feel natin na hindi tayo belong kasi meron tayo nitong unique na characteristic nito or attribute. But actually, it is not. It is what makes us great because
So
meron
siguro
tayong mga
kailangan lang
bagay na
nating, oo,
nagagawa.
kailangan nating alam yung ating purpose, no? Kailangan nating
Okay,
hanapin yung purpose
purpose.
natin. Yes.
Okay, so it's
Okay?
purpose.